I'm going to read his bio. Okay, so Hiram Larew's sixth collection of poems, Patchy Ways, was released from Cyberwit Press in 2023. His poems have received the Louisiana Literature Prize, the Washington Review Poetry Blue Ribbon, and have been nominated for 4 pushcarts. His work appears widely, including in recent issues of Poetry South, The Brown Critique, San Antonio Review, Contemporary American Voices, Honest Ulsterman, Iowa Review, Amsterdam Quarterly, and Best Poetry Online. Wow, that's like wow. Recipient of grants from state and county art councils, as well as the United Nations for his Poetry X Hunger initiative, which uses powerful poetry by poets worldwide to alleviate hunger. Larew is also the founder of Voices of Woodlawn, a powerful program of poetry, music, and art that explores America's tragic history of plantation-based slavery. He assists Baltimore WBJC Classical Radio 91.5 FM to identify poets for featuring on the widely broadcast Book Notes program and is a board member of the Inkwell. Dr. Larew is a courtesy faculty at 5 U.S. universities. He lives in Maryland, USA. Now, he added a poem here, and I'm going to try to read it. I'm going to try to do it justice. And now you're realizing how terrible of a poet I am, or a reader I am when I'm not reading my own poetry. So here she goes. When I speak, twig above me, the sounds are unimaginable. Each swollen bud laces its shoes, and those earwigs, their pinches, squeak out of my growing gold day. And this is an excerpt out of, sorry, my apologies. They grab my damp heart in waiting. And this is from In Waiting. So, okay, let's give him a hand of applause. Hiram, let's go.
Thank
Come
you,
on up.
JJ. Thanks, JJ. Uh, let's see here. I need to queue up just a couple of things. Let me put something in the chat that I'll be referring to in just a second. So first off, I want to thank JJ and Carolyn and Wendy and the whole team for hosting this evening. And I'm looking forward to hearing Lois's work as well and to hearing everyone in the open mic. I'm based in Maryland, USA, just outside of DC, where it's kind of hot and muggy tonight, but this evening. But looking forward to joining you on this kind of late spring, early summer venture together in poetry. So, in case you haven't heard, a colleague who I think you know pretty well, Josephine Larew, has all sorts of reasons to celebrate of late, but I want to showcase one. Josephine wrote a poem for Poetry X Hunger, as all of you are encouraged to do, and many of you have already. Feed the Children, which is a huge anti-hunger organization, picked up on that poem and incorporated it into a 1-minute public service announcement about Feed the Children that they then produced. And that video with Josephine's poem as narrated by a professional narrator has been viewed by more than 100,000 viewers on YouTube. And the video has recently received 5 Telly Awards, which are the awards, national, I think even international awards, given to television videos. So I've posted the link in the chat to the video. I would highly recommend that you take a look at that amazing video. It just goes to show, I think, that poetry can be used to fight hunger. So I'm going to start with a poem that is all about someone wondering what it would be to look like a movie star, someone wondering about being a movie star, or at least with movie star looks. This poem first appeared in San Antonio Review. It's titled Hollywood. For sure, I'd pull out my last tooth to be that tall, dark, and handsome. And yes, even be willing to die real young just so I could live on and on in those posters. But before that, I'd like to have the kind of looks that stop nearly anything breathing in its tracks as it stares at me and my marvel, at my boatload of handy dandy and my cup running over, if you get my drift. I swear I'd give up my good eye to be an eyeful of a best looking swoon angel. The kind of, oh my goodness, that's like when butter meets honey, for sure. Yes, my magazine looks would and should be the best ever seen since hair was parted by Moses or someone Egyptian. I'd even give a twist on this bad thumb to be irresistible. And yes, that's spelled like a parade float with a real sexy I waving up front and a big bad E grinning in the rear, if you get my drift. Truly, I'd give up my last smoke, the very best one, I'm told, to have God idol looks, so that whenever, however, and as ever I went, even heavenly souls would pay to climb up some trees for the precious golden chance to see me. So someone wanting to be good looking, movie good looking. So second piece, I've always wanted to work with someone who could whistle as I read a poem. I can't explain it, but I just have always wanted somebody to whistle alongside one of my poems. And so I was lucky enough to meet Carole Ann Kaufmann, AKA the Whistling Diva, and two-time winner of the International Whistling Competition. She's based in LA. She was kind enough to accompany me as I read or read a poem, and she produced this 3-minute recording of our whistling and reading together. The poem was written when I was a resident at what's called the Porches Writing Center in Virginia, USA. The recording takes about 3 minutes. And I tell you what, I'm going to also post the poem in the chat. I realize that sometimes kind of is not real clear, but at least you'll have it there in case you want to listen along or read along. Okay, so let me share screen this, and hopefully you'll be able to hear Carole Ann Kaufmann whistling as I read Ode to Stubbled Fields. Ode to Stubbled Fields, where mountains blend old with frost. How morning's dawn brings orange to blue inside us. Where crows
that are so fully made belong, and autumn tends away, or leaves drift back, or chosen songs forever hum, where brambles edge the less with more, and dark berries of. These marvels come so happened upon. Their early crests are all there is of knowing. Yes, where mountains blend only here with only if, and take each heart its sake to opened days in stubbled fields.
So that was Carole Ann Kaufmann generously whistling alongside me as I read this poem, Ode to Stubbled Fields. And as the third and last poem, I'll just introduce it by saying that my father never cursed. I don't ever remember him cursing. But when he got really frustrated, he'd say, "Boy, howdy." And I don't know where that came from, but that's what he would say. This piece first appeared in Broadkill Review and then in my collection titled Utmost, and it's titled Boy, Howdy. Modern life hurts me. Would that I could die in the arms of seed catalogs, or turn over in a bed and feel snow coming in the window. My father taught me to wave at life from cherished corners. His coat pockets were really my teenage years. Carry on is how I feel now. So may these lines become as strikingly handsome as hands on shoulders. May they cause strangers to look up again and again. May the hope in these lines age well, like chewed pencils, or turn into stale crumbs that birds will fight over. Thanks so much, JJ.
Wow, that was very beautiful. Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Okay, can we get a round of applause, please? Come on. I want to see a show of hands. Come on. I want to see hands. That was very
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you.
Wow. I'm gonna say it, man. Boy, howdy. But we're gonna turn that into a positive, okay? I think it's actually beautiful that you're I work in Fort Mac